There's a lot going on right now. Mounting economic inequality, threats to democracy, environmental disaster, the sour stench of chaos in the air. I'm Brooke Gladstone, host of WNYC's On the Media. Want to understand the reasons and the meanings of the narratives that led us here, and maybe how to head them off at the pass? That's On the Media's specialty. Take a listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart-Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast, Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's Only One story. The Only One in the Room has a wide variety of guests, from prisoners to abuse survivors to swingers. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee that Only One in the Room will have a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what Leslie's about. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Lez Hang Out, the podcast where you could qualify for extra reward points every time you get your gay card stamped. 0% APR financing, terms and conditions may apply.
I'd buy it. I'd
not?
sign up.
Has to be approved by the council. From the West Coast, I'm Leigh Foster.
From the East Coast, I'm Ellie. To those of you who've been with us through this whole journey, thank you as always for listening. If you're a new listener, welcome. We're excited to have you here. Here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base every episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. First, we want to remind you that in Season 7, we are still releasing bonus Patreon episodes every month. Our last one just came out with all of our thoughts on Red, White, and Royal Blue. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can hear all of our thoughts on our little gay boys and how great they are. We also want to remind you that all of the episodes of Journey to the Heart are out now. They are available anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can hear one of the paths through the story already. We will be releasing the next version of the story where we take all three of the choices that people voted on, we flip them to the opposite choice that people made, and that will be coming out for Pride Month in June, so stay tuned. In the Greater Les universe, as we all know, Lesbian Visibility Week is over. Return to the darkness, to your caves. Do not be perceived any longer by the world or straight people, lesbians. Our time has drawn to a close. But really, we hope everyone had a great Lesbian Visibility Week, having everybody see you and talk about lesbians for a whole week. It was great. Speaking of lesbians, there's a new BBC dating show that I think just kicked off called I Kissed a Girl. As far as I can tell, the premise is they get a whole bunch of queer women together. They make out before they really talk to each other at all, and then they sort of pair off, get to do their little couple thing for a bit, and then vote on whether they'd like to stay with that person or move on to the next person. So it sounds absolutely chaotic. I cannot wait to check it out and get way too invested in another queer dating show. Looking forward to it. Also, I think many of you know Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe are in the process of turning Cleat Cute, which is a soccer rom-com queer novel by Meryl Wilsner, into a scripted series. I think they've bought the rights. They're working on it. It's in production right now, or will be in production soon. So soccer gays obviously losing their minds. We're all very excited. So Cleat Cute, stay tuned. We're going to try to get some more details on it soon. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Leigh. Thanks, Ellie and Leigh. We are so excited to bring you episode 18 of season 7, Zero Gay PR.
And we are talking about someone who has zero gay PR today. A little someone by the name of JoJo Siwa.
Listen,
Why did I was trying to be JoJo, but I feel like I
Ellie's turned into a gremlin.
I turned into Gollum. But to be fair, she sort of sounds like that to me. So
she's got a very yeah.
It's
She
so
talks
raspy.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. okay, this you know this is gonna be a hard episode for me, Ellie. This
Yeah,
is tough on me.
I'm so
This is hard.
I'm so intrigued by this episode because Leigh, anyone who's been listening to the podcast for a long time, knows that when JoJo Siwa was coming out, Leigh was a huge proponent of JoJo Siwa.
Huge fan.
Huge fan. You know, like happy for her living her best baby gay life, like, you know, Dancing with the Stars, like being a beacon of light for the young baby gays in our world. How do you feel now, Leigh?
Listen, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
You feel like JoJo
Is that like
Siwa's
the most-
you feel like
the most
JoJo
mom
Siwa's
answer I
disappointed
could give.
mother. Yeah.
I
And it's not because okay, let's dive into it. But like it's not because like I don't think it's because like, oh, she's being a bad girl, quote unquote.
No.
It's everything.
It's not.
It's
not 'cause
everything
of
else.
that.
It's everything else.
It's if anything, I would prefer that. So okay, wait. For
yeah.
anyone who doesn't live on social media like Ellie and I shouldn't but do, Ellie and I having a conversation mere minutes ago about how we're like trying to break our toxic social media addiction cycles, and here we are. Anyways, okay, so here's a quick primer on the situation for anyone who's not aware of it. JoJo Siwa, if you don't know her, famous, you know, child star from Dance Moms, sort of pivoted into like a bubblegum and bows pop career, then pivoted into like I'm coming out and being like a teen gay icon and being the first same-sex partnered contestant on Dancing with the Stars. Now making another pivot into
Moira.
I was going for Ross, but it did come out
Yeah.
kind of Moira.
We're not
Pivot, David.
Yeah, we're not good at the impersonations today. Give us grace.
It's early. It's early. This is what you get when we have to record on the weekends, okay? So here's the thing. She's pivoting again, and we want to talk a little bit about this pivot because there has been a huge amount of discussion and reaction to how this pivot is being handled. So JoJo Siwa, in her own words, in interviews, is pivoting into like her, you know, adult bad girl era. Like she's not a kid star anymore. She's grown up now.
And to clarify, she is also 20 years old, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just putting it out there. Okay.
This is fine. This episode's gonna be fine for us, okay? So she's pivoting, and she has been doing this pivot largely in marketing the release of her upcoming song, which is called Karma. And there's been so much going on. It's like I don't even know how to break this down in an
And that is
approachable
why
way.
we are doing a full
Yes.
episode.
So, okay, so I feel like the first things that started happening right off the bat was the dance, right? Which, like, you and I are not going to spend a ton of time talking about the dance. She's not good at the dance. I'm sorry, JoJo, it's not there. The dance is bad, but the dance sort of like got people talking, and everyone's learning the dance, and people are like doing the dance and being like, I do it better, and many of them were correct, and that's fine. Like, the dance being what it is, I don't super care that much if pop stars are like the best dancers. It's just funny when you got your start as a dancer and have a dance studio of your own, and like, okay, it's fine. But I feel like the only reason I'm bringing up the dance is because I think the dance is an illustrative way to begin this conversation about like things that you look at around this situation where you're like, no one was around to tell you.
It feels very much like it feels very much like this. That's why we titled this Zero Gay PR. Feels very much like this entire like music video like was written and produced by JoJo. Like that's what it feels like. Where she was like, you know what? I have all these ideas, and she paid people enough money that they were like, sure. There's no oversight, right?
Yeah,
it does not seem like there was a creative team that was like, you know what, JoJo,
God.
maybe we don't do that one where like you're on the beach and you're like sort of humping, but you don't get too close. You know, maybe we don't do that part. Like,
maybe we don't. Or the other thing, you know what's funny? And it's like, it's not the biggest thing about all of this, but do you know what I have actually found the most wildly offensive to me as in terms of watching the PR campaign of this? Because listen, we're going to talk about a lot of things, and I just need to get this out there as somehow it being the thing that like bothers me the most, is that she doesn't know who Gene Simmons is. Like, have you seen the outfit? Okay, have you seen the Gene Simmons outfit on her? So it's a picture of one of the outfits that she wears in the video, and B, that she has been wearing in a number of interviews.
Yes, I have
appearances,
seen this. Yes.
appearances and interviews and stuff. And it is like, it's not like, oh, it's Gene Simmons inspired. It's like someone on her costuming team obviously was like, we're gonna make you a Gene Simmons Kiss outfit, like head to toe, right?
Yes.
And you would just imagine if you were going to take a 20-year-old Gen Z star and dress them in the exact
Kiss
getup
outfit. Yeah.
of a Kiss star from
before
like
she was born
years ago, that she has, very little reason to really be super steeped in, that like you might play her a song by Kiss, show her a single photo, and mention, hey, anybody over your age is gonna ask you about Gene Simmons and your look. At least maybe here's like 1 or 2 fun facts, or like listen to a song so that when someone asks, like you have anything to fall back on. And instead it's like they just dressed her in this, like in the dark in a closet, sent her out into the light of day, and then we're just like sitting on the side like giggling at how she like doesn't know who Gene Simmons is. I've seen a number of interviews.
Okay, I haven't seen any of these Gene Simmons clips, so tell me, because I've seen.
It's just people keep asking her about that, and she clearly doesn't know who it is. Like, doesn't know the name. The name is registering nothing. She has no idea why they're asking.
Oh God.
And it's the sort of thing that you're like, again, listen, you have a team. I get that people are when you respond to it, you make fun of JoJo Siwa, but I'm like, this is really not an indictment of JoJo Siwa to me. This is an indictment of her PR team. Like, how do you send this poor girl out and not even mention to her who you dressed her as? Like, that's just okay.
Yes.
Just to say, we are going to get into like the whole gay aspect of this in a second, but I just think it is important for everyone to know that this whole thing just feels like, like you got a team of like German shepherds to run your PR campaign, and like this is the best you're gonna get because they're just, kind of walking around like peeing on stuff. Like I don't understand what's happening.
That's why I'm saying, like, I said this before the episode started. I was like, is she dumb or is she smart? Like, I can't tell if the PR campaign was It's so bad that I wonder if her PR company was like, here's what you're gonna do. You know what would really piss off the gays? If you said you invented gay pop, that would get a lot of shit going. So make sure you say you invented gay pop. And then it's like, you know what would really piss off Kiss fans? Let's get them involved. Make sure you have, when they ask Gene Simmons, your eyes better be dead. Do not.
Make sure you look like you've
never heard the name before. Like, it's either she's a complete idiot or her PR team was so calculated about making an anger campampagn. Because to be fair, we're doing an entire podcast episode.
They do work.
We're doing an entire podcast episode. So was that their strategy the whole time? And are we playing into it? The conspiracy
Ellie's
theories.
whole take on this is like, is this entire PR campaign a psyop on the gay community to get us talking about it? Here's the thing. If it is, it's gonna backfire. Like, you can't do this successfully, okay? Because you cannot go out and create nothing but ill will in the entire community that you need.
You can't keep it going. That's the thing. Like, we are going to be talking about this one music video, and then after this, we're not going to be like, oh yeah, JoJo Siwa, gay icon.
Let me buy the album. Yeah, no, it's not. It doesn't work that way. We're all gonna laugh about it and then go about our lives and forget about it immediately. So, if it's a psyop, it's not smart.
Yeah,
it's not smart, especially because, okay, listen, not to harp on the Gene Simmons
then it's
thing
a straight
again.
PR. Then it's a straight PR team who doesn't understand the gay community.
It's possible, but here's the thing: not to harp on the Gene Simmons thing some more, but like, here's an example for me of, okay, maybe my pitch for this episode, Ellie, is like, why don't, like, bring in some gay consultants, okay? Like, bring in the gays. Let's go lesbians.
Mhm.
Because here's the thing. I am so sorry to their PR team that you had the opportunity right in front of you. Like, you dressed her in a fucking Gene Simmons outfit. They gave her like this thing down her neck. Like this thing down her neck, which I can't tell if it's supposed to be just like part of his outfit or if it's supposed to be a play on Gene Simmons's tongue, right? Because Gene Simmons,
Oh yeah,
famously, for anyone, again, for like our younger listeners, if you're not familiar with Kiss and Gene Simmons, totally understandable. I mean, like, maybe look them up, like, what a vibe. But Gene Simmons famously had one of the world's longest tongues, and he was famous for like constantly sticking that thing out, highly suggestive with the tongue. And so I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're gonna dress this girl who's, again, let's be clear, trying to pivot into gay pop, right? And you're not going to give that poor child the opportunity to make as many tongue jokes as possible. Like, just a little tongue
I
entendres,
know.
little tongues, hint, suggestion, comment. Like, it's right, it's in your lap. It's sitting in your lap. And if you wanted to make the gays be like, oh my God, fucking stan JoJo Siwa, love it, here for it, go girl. Like, let the girl make tongue jokes. let
Yes.
that girl fly and live her best little baby gay life. Why would you take that away from her? It's right there. It's right there.
It's right there. I'd also
Bring in the gays.
I'd also like to say one more thing about just like how young she is and how much
Yes.
she has been in the spotlight forever. I feel like she is so out of touch with reality. Like, she's so so removed from like anything. Like, I feel like this girl has literally lived in a bubble. Like, I don't even know if she has a phone at this point. Like, I don't.
JoJo, blink twice.
Yeah, JoJo, are you okay?
JoJo's the next Free Britney campaign. Watch.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, she has lived in a completely different world than all of us for so long. And I feel like the PR of it all is like, okay, so let me bring up Renee Rapp, right?
Yes. Okay.
So Renee Rapp, people have been talking about, oh my God, like, Renee Rapp doesn't have PR and we love it because she's just saying random shit and whatever, right?
But Renee Rapp's just out there being like a fucking gay, just gay. Renee Rapp's just being gay. She's just being gay.
But she also didn't become famous until she was somewhat an adult, right? Like, ish, right?
But this is what I think you're getting at, right?
Like, is just like, this girl needs coaching, and nobody.
Yes.
She's been
JoJo, you're saying.
JoJo.
Yeah.
JoJo needed coaching.
Yeah.
Honestly, Renee probably needed some coaching too, but we didn't care. It was a risk. It was a risk. But like, JoJo being this like idiot 20-year-old who her brain already is not fully formed, because 20-year-olds do not have fully formed brains. But you cannot imagine how not formed this girl's brain is, because she has been bubbled her entire life, right?
Yeah, it's
like,
a little...
it is so compressed. So I also feel bad for as much as I want to laugh at all this stuff, I do feel bad for her.
We are gonna laugh about it.
I'm going to laugh, but I am like, this poor girl. She needs some training, and nobody wanted to give it to her, probably because like she has been living a celebrity life for so long.
Yeah.
That like,
but
people are just yesing her to death.
This is what I think is the difference, Ellie. Is like, when we talk about Renee Rapp is just out there being like a full, like, she's that gay bitch in those interviews, right? Where you're just like, yes, like, you are a queer person who clearly has like been in queer community. You have just like, you have done the time, you know? And like, listen, this is not to discount JoJo's queer identity. Like, JoJo is gay. We know that. We are not invalidating that, but it's like, it's the sense of yeah, like it's gay in a very kind of sheltered, regimented way that just doesn't feel like it has been grounded in like an authentic queer community experience, you
Yes,
know?
because
And so,
she's basically probably had a girlfriend or a few girlfriends, and
yes.
that's her gay community. And so yeah.
And it's been like a girlfriend probably in like a highly like here are the rules, here are the guidelines, like here is a team of people sort of micromanaging your entire life, and like which doesn't mean you're not in a queer relationship and you're not dating and you're not whatever. It's less about the dating for me and it's more about the like I want to know who JoJo's gay friends are. Like, who are you hanging out with? Who are your elders, girl? Like, who
She
is
doesn't
there?
have any elders, Leigh,
Who is
clearly.
there kind of like who is guiding you along this journey of self-actualization, right? Like who is there as a queer person showing you the ropes, teaching you the history? Like who's doing that for her? That's what I want to know.
Clearly no one. That's the point, right? Clearly no one is there. But the crazy thing about it is like, okay, so should we talk about the gay history of it all then? Because
okay. Yes.
Like,
well, let's explain why it's important because we haven't even really gotten to the whole crux of why this is important from a gay angle, which is okay. What we've tried to do is lay the groundwork for like the PR management around this whole situation is wild, okay? And so there are multiple clips of JoJo doing these interviews where she's talking about how she went to her team and was like, I want to do something new, right? Like, I'm gonna invent a new thing, and it's called gay pop. And that's what she's out here doing with the song Karma.
Extended silence is the correct answer for that statement.
Just awed, shocked speechlessness is the correct answer, okay? Wild thing to say. And like and she's tried to walk it back now in a number of ways, which is interesting because it's like you can't walk that statement back.
No, she very actively said, I want to create a new genre. I want to invent something new.
Invent a new genre called gay pop.
You didn't say, like, I would like to pivot my career towards gay pop that already exists.
Yeah.
You very clearly said, you're doing something completely new that nobody has ever done before.
Yeah. Hard to walk it back. Hard to walk back. And not only that, but when she has been trying to walk it back, I think it's again like the reasons that people are getting upset about it is that she's trying to walk it back by mentioning like, no, of course gay pop exists. Like, I'm not trying to discount gay pop. I love gay pop like Madonna, Lady Gaga, Michael Jackson. Okay? And like, listen, I'm not gonna say that like those I wouldn't qualify those as being able to count as gay pop. Like, sure. I'm gonna say it's an interesting selection of choices.
Those are specifically the people she said.
Those are the three names that she said.
Okay, so I will say.
Like, Lady Gaga's probably the most relevant person
10,000%
to include on that list. Sure.
Lady Gaga and Madonna, both bisexual.
Yes.
Throw them on.
Yes.
But I also
Michael Jackson, problematic but loved by gay people, I'm sure. Like the music
had
its heyday with the gay community.
Also
okay, fine.
A weird.
But I'm like, but you know, it had its heyday in the time of people who also would have known who fucking Gene Simmons was. Just saying. Like, it's a little outdated. Feels a little outdated as a reference to make, and an interesting choice.
And also just discounts. It's like you have the opportunity, JoJo, as you now have this gigantic platform of people who fucking hate you, but as you have this gigantic platform of people who are so pissed off that you discounted gay pop, the best PR move here would be for you to have researched maybe the people that, remember there's a thing where she's been in a picture with Fletcher?
Yeah.
Hayley Kiyoko. I don't know who else is in the picture, but either way, it's like her with a bunch of actual, like, I don't want to say actual, but her with a bunch of less mainstream, but still like really fucking amazing, who could use some exposure on their music from someone like JoJo Siwa, and who are also so much better than JoJo Siwa, right? Why would you not take that opportunity to like call those people out? Fletcher, Renee Rapp, Haley Kiyoko, Tegan and freaking Sarah.
Yeah.
That like, is the funniest one to me.
Chappell Roan fucking
Chappell
like
Roan.
popping off right now.
Yes,
right? Like here's the thing. We live in actually like a golden era of gay music.
Time of gay music.
Amazing gay pop.
Incredible gay pop.
Yes. And it's so funny to me to be like, how do you want to say
Troye Sivan.
I'm
like, I'm not gonna just regurgitate.
I want to pivot into
Jordy.
This genre that Ellie just erupting for the rest of the episode with gay artists.
Rina Siriyama.
It's just it's
Girl in Red. Sorry. Whew, sorry. I'm having a little bit of musical Tourette's.
Take a minute, take a break.
Sorry, it makes me so upset, but yes, keep going.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like, it's so wild to exist in this age of gay music, and the top 3 names you came up with, like 2 of them released their most popular albums
in the 80s.
Like while my parents were teenagers, you know? Like it's
literally
insane to me.
Wait, you know what's depressing as hell? That was 45 years ago.
Yes.
Like in the past 50 years of gay pop, you've never.
There's no one else comes to mind.
No one else you can mention?
I listen, like, she's out here with the freaking, like, fake tattoos, like, tatting herself up like G-Flip, and, like, you can't think of a single other name. JoJo, yep. Like, not a single more relevant name comes to mind. Like, so, okay, so here's one problem, is, like, as queer people, who listen to queer music, you hear someone say that, saying they want to pivot into gay pop, like, into a queer space. And here's what's weird. Again, like, I do not want to, like, invalidate JoJo's identity, but, like, it feels like when you cast a straight person to, like, play gay badly in a movie. Like, this feels like Katherine Heigl in Jenny's Wedding.
Jenny's Wedding, yeah.
Right? Like, that's what it feels like, because it feels so inauthentic. It feels so made up. Like, just so wild. And so, okay, so that's...
It is what a straight... Like, when you be like, to my mom, what's a gay pop song? And she's like, oh, Born This Way.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like, it's what a straight person thinks of when they think of gay pop.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it is like, you're not steeped in any gay culture, JoJo.
It's wild. Okay, we're gonna take a quick second, give Ellie a minute to, like, calm down, and then breathe, and we'll be right back.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
At Radiolab, we love nothing more than nerding out about science, neuroscience, chemistry.
But we do also like to get into other kinds of stories. Stories about policing or
politics,
country music,
hockey,
sex, of bugs.
Regardless of whether we're looking at science or not science, we bring a rigorous curiosity to get you the answers.
And hopefully make you see the world anew.
Radiolab, adventures on the edge of what we think we know.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, so
Amuna.
Here's...
Sorry, I forgot.
It didn't work.
I forgot
so
them.
here's
Which
what
is crazy
here's
because they're
what we
my
want to
favorite.
talk about this whole thing and like how this is being handled and how the thing is at this point I don't know how you turn this around. I don't know how you turn this around right now.
You don't.
But I think we want to talk a little bit about like
I think you double
why
down.
is this psyop. Why is it so bad and how is this going to be digested by the queer community and like what is this going to mean for JoJo? Because I feel like nothing has made me feel like she is less gay than this.
Yeah.
What are you listening to, girl? What music are you listening to?
That's
like,
what I'm
it's
saying.
also
She lives in a bubble. Like I don't know. No, there's also a picture of her at a Fletcher concert. Like I just don't
how do you
get it.
not come up with these names? And here's the thing is like maybe also to bring up because a lot of people have been talking about the whole like, oh, she stole the song aspect, which like we could touch on real quick. Again, for people who aren't familiar with this, JoJo Siwa didn't write Karma and actually I did some research in advance of the episode. Like I don't think she ever once claimed that she wrote this song.
Mm-hmm.
She's been pretty clear in interviews that like she's like I heard the song and I was like I want it, I can't do it now, but I want that song. She bought the rights to the song, which was an unreleased song before this. She bought the rights to the song and now she's releasing the song, which like again I think a lot of people don't understand how a lot of the music industry works, which is like most people don't write their own music and that's fine, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The songwriters exist.
Exactly.
And that's great.
And there are a lot of songs, and like, because there's also people have been circulating around. There's like a music video that the actual songwriter released, or like
it's
produced.
not even the actual songwriter. It's just a previous singer who bought the song. Britt Smith did not write the song. I don't think. I think she bought the song, recorded a demo of it, and then never actually released it on an album. Right?
Yeah. Who wrote it?
I have no idea.
That's also in 2012. Oh my god, that's so long ago.
It's, you know what's so funny? Because I actually love this. So this, I'm going to go on such a wild tangent here, but I think it's interesting, okay? Because like when you go, for fun fact, listeners, if you, like me, who writes music and is always very interested in this, like when you go on, because Karma's not out yet, right? So I can't look it up on Spotify, but the easiest thing you can do, if you go on any song on Spotify and hit like credits and info, it tells you who wrote and produced every song. Every song out there has information.
Well,
because
it has to. Like they have to register it so that they get paid.
And most pop songs are not written by pop artists. They might get a co-writing credit sometimes. Like JoJo, I think will get some co-writing credits on stuff, right? Like it's most pop songs are written by someone else, possibly with the involvement of the artist, possibly not. Some of them are just written and they buy the rights.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a perfectly normal, common way that the music industry works, and sometimes it's actually so funny. So like Ellie, you know, we currently have a French teaching fellow staying with us, right? So we have she's 21, she's very, very sweet. She's doing some work at the girls' school, so she's been living with us for the last few weeks, and she'll be here through the rest of the month. And so she's 21, right? So like we are very, again, different places, different generations. Like, and I was asking her like, oh, like you gotta, play some songs. Like, what's the French songs that like people are into right now? Because like I'm very out of touch with the French music scene, and so I was like, what are all the kids listening to, right? And she played us a couple things, and one of them, it was this girl who won, I think, like the French, like The Voice or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And like kickstarted her little pop career, and she was playing it. I mean, it was just like, it was kind of your basic like pop radio of the day stuff, and I was like, oh, cool. And because I mentioned at one point that I was like, oh, yeah, like I play the girls some songs, but, they're like all kind of out of date. And I was mentioning the names of like some of the artists that I do play them in French. And, they're people who were popular like 15 years ago. But one of them is a French artist whose name is Calogero, and he's a great songwriter, great musician. And she was like, oh, yeah, like my parents like him a lot, And I was like, yeah, I bet they do. Like, he was like, very popular, like back in the day. Like that's where we're at. Like, that's fine, whatever. But what I thought was funny is she plays me this girl, and of course it's a new thing. Like the first thing I do is I go in the song credit info and look up the song, and I was like, she won The Voice. She's a singer. I'm like, I don't expect that she's writing her own stuff. So I opened the credits, and do you know who wrote her song?
Same guy.
And I was like, oh, that's so funny, because I was like, yeah, like your parents like him, and like all of your friends do too.
Do also still like him.
He wrote her whole first album. Like her entire first album was written by him. Yeah. And so I'm like, yeah, because he's a great pop songwriter. Like, and that's how the music industry actually works a lot of the time. And I just think it's so funny when people are like, oh yeah, like he's so old and outdated. And I'm like, he's literally writing all of the
your music
for like your for your generation still. Well, it's just now with a different face slapped on it, and so you like it, Yes. So okay, so I don't care about the whole Brit Smith song thing.
Yeah,
like
but
that's the music industry.
Yeah, but the point is that is how the music industry works, and like even too, like when I do my solo career, Leigh's gonna write all my music. So
yeah, and I'm psyched about it.
Am I stealing all of your songs, Leigh?
Yes. How dare you?
Like, but that's also it is even too like. I don't know. I sort of want to dive a little bit more into this because even if somebody else had recorded, produced, released Karma in what it says 2012, okay?
Yeah.
JoJo also could record, release, produce a cover of that. Yeah. Like I feel like we only call it a cover.
Beyonce literally just recorded released Jolene. Blackbird and Jolene.
And like, people are like, oh my God, did she get the permission from Dolly Parton? Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, I was telling this to Leigh the other day. I can record any song I want. Literally any song. Like, you can record it. And all you have to do when you upload it to these distributors is you say what song it is and who wrote it. And they will get paid.
The credits will be correct.
They will get paid.
Well, and you know what's funny is...
And that's it. That's how it works.
Which I knew, but the reason I was asking is, like, I didn't know if there's anything you have to do when you record it first. Because I know, like, you and I were talking about
I feel like,
how, like, acapella does this all the time, and I know that. But I also, like, I know how it works. Like, if you perform, you're allowed to perform covers at, like, any place that's paying... like
BMI
their,
and
basic, like basic royalties that like any place that has live music is paying those royalties, and like that's fine. So okay, that's the point. That's notwithstanding, petition for Ellie to release the story. Okay, it's it's fine. The thing is, when this happens, you credit the people on your song info, right? And I actually remember Beyonce being a great example of this, because for years I heard so many people be like, oh my God, Beyonce, like pop artists are all trash because they don't write their own music, and like look at any Beyonce track and it has like 15 names as like the writers. Like, why does it take so many people to write a song? And people were also not even failing to understand that like sometimes you have co-writers, and like that's a very common thing. But also Beyonce, I think, is one of the best shining examples of people who correctly credit every piece of like samples that they use in any of her music. Like Beyonce's music, the production is actually like sample heavy, and she's constantly calling back to like, I was like, this song inspired me and I wanted to take this piece of it and like turn it into this other thing, and then like I pulled this from over here, and like that is a cool creative music process, and she credits everybody meticulously. Like,
Well, and because also it's important.
And
it's important for the financial part of it, because also sometimes you will have a producer credit, like the producer will get credit as a co-writer. They didn't write the song, but you want to be able to make sure they get paid royalties.
Right.
So like, it's a whole thing. I think that discourse, actually the other day I was like going off about it to Jana, and she's like, I don't care. Like she literally
those are the times where you should just be calling me, Ellie. What are you doing?
I know. She was like, she stole it, and blah, blah. I was like, let me give you a, like, I get so
it's okay. Here's the thing,
because I'm just like, it's not the right thing to be upset about, is my thing.
Right. It's not, and it's also, I feel like it's not something to be upset about at all, because part of me is just like, hey, kudos to that songwriter who's had this song that got canned 12 years ago and is now gonna finally get it on the fucking radio. I'm like, actually, that whole piece, I was like, oh, that's so exciting. How great.
Yeah, like, as a songwriter, you're like, sick.
That came so close to getting a break and then sort of got shelved for such a long time. And I'm like, I bet that songwriter's fucking psyched until this whole PR campaign rolled out, at which point I'd be a little disappointed.
Well, because I also think it's funny because this is JoJo Siwa's Friday. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And to be fair, like, Rebecca Black sort of, I think, still has some sort of music
Black
career.
is like turning it. Rebecca Black is becoming like a new gay pop icon.
Yeah, I think
like,
she's made
Rebecca
it work.
Black's having her fucking time. But you know why? Because Rebecca Black, I think, like, fell into a deep pit and just landed on gay people, and now has been having like an authentic queer life. And just a pile of gay
that
people
poor girl
caught her at the bottom, and we're like, hey girl. And now she's like having her fucking time, and like, good for Rebecca Black. That is not what's happening to JoJo Siwa now. Like, how sad is it when I'm like, JoJo, can't you just like pull a Rebecca Black right now? Like, it's not a good moment.
It's not a good moment for you.
Okay,
no.
It's not good. It's not good. So, okay, yes, listen. The whole song aspect, like, I don't care about the song.
I just don't care about that. Yeah.
The one thing that I do think is funny, and maybe this is another thing that we can pivot into, pivot. Maybe we can pivot the conversation into the fact that, like, I mentioned this to Ellie when we were discussing doing this as a topic, and I wish I could find, I tried so hard to re-find the TikTok, but it was just like a thing I had seen and scrolled by, and I didn't save it, didn't like it, don't know how to find it again, because I can't search like JoJo Siwa, like a video I watched, because my TikTok has been like 8,000 JoJo Siwa videos a day for the last week and a half. So anyways, I couldn't find it again. So sorry to whoever had this whole take that I am about to like paraphrase, and then we will discuss. But I saw someone who was discussing this transition, this pivot of her career. And they were saying that one of the things that they think is hard for JoJo Siwa right now is JoJo Siwa is trying to do this whole rebrand into like, I'm an adult musician now, right? Like, I'm grown up. And she was saying, like, what's hard is a lot of people, and a lot of the people that JoJo keeps mentioning, right? Like the Miley Cyrus of it all. She's like, a lot of people who came up as child stars, and they wanted to like rebrand and pivot into more of like an adult audience, do that largely in a very like not just sexualizing way, but in a way that is sexualized specifically like for men, like for straight men. It is a very heterosexual sexualizing, like, I am now available for consumption by grown men as an audience, right? That sort of...
I will say yes. Continue your thing and remind me of this after you're done with this. I think Miley's a bad example of that. I would say Britney Spears.
Britney Spears is
a better example because Miley came out. I have thoughts about Miley, but I feel like Miley.
Yeah, but I don't think Miley took the Dove Cameron route in terms of how she sexualized her music very much.
I think you're incorrect, but we'll talk about it.
I will say she's more on the fence.
When you think about Wrecking Ball, she was sexualizing. I think that was a queer lens. When you're talking about bangers,
I think you and I see it through a queer lens, sure, but I don't think men didn't engage with that as media.
Yeah, no, she cut off all her hair, Leigh.
I know that.
That's not trying to be sexual for men.
Okay.
She cut off all her hair, and she's wearing no bra with a white tee.
Yes,
it's gay.
I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it was only done for like the male gaze, but I'm saying I don't think Miley came at it in a way that like pushed away men. Okay, but either way, I think Miley still came at it in a much more like sexually charged fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, So here's the thing. So you have JoJo Siwa, who has basically come out, like, done this huge thing around, like, I'm gay now. This is me. I'm dancing with a woman. Like, this is my whole thing, right? But has been doing that still as, I mean, mostly like a child. Like, what was she? She was like 18 on Dancing with the Stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she hasn't been doing it in a space that has not been still sort of like very coming from like child stardom and like being a minor, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And now she's trying to pivot, which like I get, but I don't think that she is pivoting. She's not pivoting hard into like, I fuck women, like, quite hard enough.
because the music video is like, I've never fucked a woman. Like, the music video I don't even know if she's ever kissed a woman. Like,
it's rough.
The music video gives me zero feelings of like,
well, because
yes,
it's
JoJo.
sanitized.
It
feels sanitized in a way that makes it hard.
She tried. It's like, it's not sanitized, and yet somehow it's like, you know what I mean? She is literally like dry humping these women. She's getting like super close to their faces, but it just feels like she, like, it feels, I don't know.
Fake?
Yeah, it feels fake because it is fake. I mean, it's an act. It's out. She's acting, but I feel like that's
but like fucking Dove Cameron's acting.
Yeah,
and
I think the point is JoJo's not a good actress. That's the point. She's just giving cringe. Whereas like Miley, I'm like just like thinking about Wrecking Ball. Also, I would like to say Miley was also 20 years old when she did Wrecking Ball.
Was she really?
Yes.
Wow, good for her, man.
Yeah, exactly. I love how we're like, good for her, and we're like, fuck JoJo Siwa. but I just think Miley did it so much better.
I agree, but here's the thing. Everybody's acting in their music videos, Ellie. But like, even do you remember when Jasmine's video for what was the song she did where she had like Sophia Ali and like all like everyone in that music video, and like they're all acting too. God damn it. It was God damn it. That music video is fucking hot. Like, that's a fucking hot music video. They're all acting, like, you know it, but like they're all just being so fucking gay, so fucking queer. Do you know what I mean? In a way that it's just like JoJo's music video is lacking queerness. Is lacking like gay, like raw gay sexual power. Like, it's not there.
No.
It's not there for me.
Not.
And so what you're ending up with is this thing where it's like you're not and I don't think that she needs to, but like you're not sexualizing yourself for the cis het male gaze. Great. I love that for you. But you're also not doing it in a way that like resonates with queer people who ostensibly are who you're doing this for. And we're all looking at this video going like, what is happening? Like, what are we doing here? You know? And I do think that like that is, I think, a slightly charitable take on the situation, but I do think that it's a part of this. Like, I feel like JoJo's team, again, we have a lot of issues with her team on this. I don't think her team is ready to let her make the like Dove Cameron boyfriend pivot. I don't think they're there yet.
And I think,
and so you can't go halfway.
But I agree. She's going halfway, right? You literally have to swing naked on a freaking wrecking ball. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna say I'm gonna be a bad girl, you better lick a freaking hammer. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
you better
lick
like something. Like,
you're not going far. You're not going far enough. You're not going far enough. So you should have just not even said, I'm gonna become a bad girl. Like,
well. And here's part of the other problem with it is like, even just from the perspective of the song, right? Like, I understand JoJo heard this song at age 16 and was like, oh my god, I want to do this song, but like obviously my audience isn't ready for it now. I go out in a giant fucking hair bow every day. Like, great, I get it. You can't sing this song yet. But here's the thing. Let's compare the song Karma to some of the other gay pop hits out there of like people who have sort of more landed in the space that I think JoJo's aiming for, but like not quite getting all the way there. Okay. So like,
because you're also saying like this song was not written for a gay pop star.
No.
It's not a gay song.
It's not a gay song.
She's
and I guess she's trying to make it gay. But even then, it's also just like not a very suggestive song. Like it starts out, opening line of the song, I was a bad girl, I did some bad things. That's about as hard as this song goes. Like,
it also makes so much sense because it was written in 2012.
Yes, this is like a Britney Spears.
It's an old song. That's the funny thing too.
This is Britney Spears pre-Toxic kind of song, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is okay, I'm sorry, but like, she's a good girl. I think she's boring. Believe me, 20 minutes later you'll be snoring. I'm like, this is not like hard hitting.
No, and you want to talk about Dove Cameron's boyfriend? Is that what you're comparing it to?
Yeah,
because
so can we just take a quick minute to compare a little bit to Dove Cameron's boyfriends? Like, I'm sorry, like, I could be a better boyfriend than him. I could do the shit that he never did. Up all night, I won't quit. Like, it's a little bit more combined with how hard she went in that music video. Like, she is not playing around, right? Like, let's compare to Ellie. You and I were just talking about Chappell Roan's Red Wine Supernova.
Yes.
Let's compare to some of the lyrics that I know you know in that song, right?
I love it.
I heard you like magic. I got a wand and
a rabbit.
So baby, let's get freaky, get kinky. Let's make this bed get squeaky. Like, I'm just saying that is a different level of like pretty like, gay. Suggestive gay
Put
lyrics.
Her canine teeth in the side of my neck.
Yes.
Whew.
I'm sorry, but it's like you compare this to like so many other songs. And here's the thing, is like, you don't have to go hard on sex to be a convincing like gay artist for me. Like, I would say, like, I don't think Tegan and Sarah songs are like, they're not super sexually explicit.
No. Yeah.
But like, they're so fucking gay, right? It's not that you have to go hard into sex. I'm just gonna say, if you are trying to make the pivot and you have the lyrics like, I would have never effed around in your song, like, it just
doesn't sound right.
It doesn't feel like you're going as hard as you think you are, you
and
know?
I think that's the thing. It's like expectations versus reality, right? It's like also the fact that like she said, you prepped everyone and said, oh, I'm really taking a big swing, and then you release this.
Yeah.
It's like you set yourself up for failure. Like,
well, and I don't understand, because the thing is, again, I think what bothers me the most about all of this is it feels so avoidable. It feels so avoidable to have handled it like this. It feels so avoidable to have tried to use this song to be something that it can't be. Again, it's not that it's a bad song. I mean, listen, I have critiques about some of the lyrical choices and things in the song, like that notwithstanding. It's not that we're saying the song itself is bad. The song doesn't serve the purpose that it is
that she
tried to be used for.
Yeah.
The music video absolutely is not. It's, God, it's so campy.
And I mean, to be fair, the amount of camp is gay. I'll give it that.
But not if you don't know anything about it and lean into it. Like, you can't dress as Gene Simmons as a campy gay thing if you don't know who Gene Simmons is.
Yeah.
Then it's not campy. It's just sad.
It's just you in a weird outfit.
It's just a costume. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what all of this boils
like
down
so
to.
caustic.
It feels like a fucking Halloween.
I'm in a cute dance costume.
Yes.
And then it doesn't feel
It doesn't feel grounded in anything. It doesn't feel informed by history. It doesn't feel rooted in like an actual identity. Like, it doesn't feel like this is telling me anything about JoJo Siwa as a queer person. And I think if you want to make that pivot into like, I'm an adult now, like, fucking tell us who you are.
Yeah.
Show us who you are, because none of this feels like who you are. This feels, it feels like a pageant.
It feels like a performance. Yeah, it feels like a pageant. Pageant is the right word.
Yes.
Pageant. Oh my God, so pageant. Even if we go back to like Hayley Kiyoko, right? I would have preferred if JoJo Siwa pivoted gay and wasn't trying for the bad girl also.
Yeah.
Like, because think about like the Hayley Kiyoko Boys Like Girls video.
Yeah.
Right? It's like so gay. But yeah, Hayley Kiyoko's Girls Like Girls videos, like, she's not in it. There's 2 actresses. Like, she made it into, like, a short film about being gay. And it's like, that to me was so much more effective.
Yes.
Right? Because we're like, all right, like, there's some intention here. She's telling a story.
Yeah.
It's not just this music video is gay because there's a girl next to me.
Yeah.
Instead of a boy. That's what it feels like.
Here's the thing. It's like, JoJo Siwa, hire me. Don't listen to this episode. And because we've been ragging on you the whole time. JoJo Siwa, hire me. Here's the thing. If you wanted to make this pivot, and you don't want to do it in a way that is like highly sexual, if you're like, I'm not quite there yet, if you're like, I don't want to alienate a large majority of my audience who is still not like solely made up of queer people, fine. You pivot with a song all about transitioning from like young, like kind of, puppy love into like real adult relationship, right? Like you write that song, you hire me or someone else to write you that song, and you make that your pivot, and that song can hit. Like, you can have that be a song that you can dance to. You could do it both. You could do it as like the tender emotional ballad. You could do it as like a fucking club bop. Like, you can do that song, but you do something that feels authentic, and then you make a video that feels like you are telling people something about yourself. Because like that's the thing is like Dove Cameron, the pivot with Boyfriend, it's not just that we love it because we're like, ooh, fucking hot song, which like it was. It was, and the music video was hot, but I think what you liked about it is like I know she's acting in the video, I understand, but like you watch Dove Cameron these days and I'm like, Dove Cameron, I don't not believe that song at all. Like, there's nothing about it that didn't feel sort of grounded in this, like, kind of relatable queer response, like, relatable queer experience story, like, of looking at a girl and being like, hey, man, I could treat you better. Like, and that's that's an easy sell, man. Like, it doesn't.
I'm literally also so
rooted.
funny. I'm looking at some of the comments for that video. Honestly, if Dove Cameron came up to my girl in a club looking and sounding like that, I'd probably be like, you know what? She makes a compelling case. You should go with her.
She's probably right. Listen, as Ellie and I discussed recently, studies show she's probably correct, okay? Like,
literally no, this is literally a man.
I know.
That's so
I know.
funny.
I understand. That's what I'm saying. Props to that man. Like,
who's like, I
good
get
on you,
it.
sir.
I get it. But yes, I agree. It's just like, it doesn't hit, JoJo. It does not hit. I'm sorry.
It doesn't hit. It just doesn't feel like it's coming from anywhere. It feels so fake and so put on. And then that is compounded by the fact that she just feels so unprepared for all of these interviews, all of these questions that you're going to be getting. And I'm like, this is when you're making this kind of a pivot, like, this is not, again, she keeps naming people who have done pivots like this. Like, it's not like there's no way for you to prep for the kinds of questions you're going to be getting in these interviews. And it just feels like nobody did any work. Nobody did any preparation. Nobody gave you any hint of a chance to succeed. Like, you are just being sent out there blind to defend like a school play, it is so rough. It's like, hey, my school put on Shakespeare and I'm the lead, but I don't really understand Shakespeare and nobody bothered to explain it to me, and they just sent me out here to like be interviewed like multiple live TV segments. Like, yeah. I don't know what is going on with this team, but like it's so bad. There's no reason for it to have been going this badly. It's basically just making her like a laughingstock in the queer community, which is not going to keep your gay fans, and you need your gay fans if you want to make this pivot, JoJo. Like,
I know.
You need this. Something else that I do want to say in this one I did find. So I will shout out Pretty Critical on TikTok, whose take I am stealing because I think it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. But she basically had this whole take where she was like, listen, like, you're all getting upset about the wrong thing. Like, does JoJo Siwa need to learn her, like, queer history? Yes, fine. But she was like, she is about to make the worst music videos we have ever seen, and we, as a queer community, are all gonna have so much fun together, and this is gonna do more to, like, unite the queer community than anything else has in recent years. And I
literally
honestly think
we all just have like JoJo Siwa music video watch
it's
parties.
so true. It's so true, though. Like, listen, Renee Rapp united us in the sense that we were all like, Renee Rapp, you're hot, we're all into it, and like we all had our moment with that, and it was delightful. But like, I think it is bringing queer people together because it's just too easy and too funny to make fun of, and it makes me sad because honestly, like, I do think I had such high hopes, Ellie, for JoJo Siwa to be this, like, hey, the youth icon, like, out here pushing boundaries and like living her best gay life, and I wanted that for her. I want that for her, and like this is so far from it, and I'm just like, girl, who is helping you right now? Like, who is just like leaving you out there to flounder and like just flop like this? Like, it's so, you could have done so much more, so much better, so much differently, and it could be so easy. It should be so easy to make this transition. Like, you had a ready audience right there with you, you know? I don't get I don't get it. I don't get what's happening. It just makes me sad. You know it's making me sad.
I know.
JoJo, let us help you.
I would also like to say, I'm trying to find like view count on some of these music videos. Hold on.
You still think it's a psyop. You still think this whole thing is planned.
I still think it's planned. But here's the thing though. It has 20 million views. I don't know how good that is for like however long it's been out. But 20 million people watched her video. So her PR team did something right. We're all talking about it. We're all quoting it. I'm sure that the sound is going viral.
Oh, it for sure is. And people are doing the dance and people are stitching the videos. Like, but here's the thing. If it's a psyop, like, you're basically throwing away the rest of your career to make this one song go big.
That's I think
not
what
a good move.
That's what I agree about. Like, I think they did this on purpose, but they didn't realize that the gay community is not about it.
No. It's rough. It's rough. I feel like if that's the case, it's not going to work out. I just don't think it's going to work out. And it is sad to me. Like, I don't like seeing queer people flounder like this, you know? Like, I just wish she had it does not feel like there are queers on her team, you know? And I don't feel like she has like a strong community filled with like queer elders, and also like I just feel like she's not listening to the right music. Like, girl, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Also, like, what are you listening to? What are you listening to? Like, gay pop is the best genre in the entire world. Like, you're not doing anything good for it.
God, I know. And I'm like, and the thing is I feel like gay pop these days is like, there's such a sense of like community and conversation.
Yeah, I feel like it also would literally
be part of that conversation.
It would literally be like her being like, so I was thinking of like inventing this new thing, you know, it's just like me and a guitar, you know, like, and just that, and we're going to stand on stage, like super stripped down, and we'll call it singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a completely new genre that no one's ever done. And people are like,
I was thinking like
about?
An acoustic guitar. What do you think?
Yeah. Like, do you, and
like a guitar, but it doesn't plug into anything.
Yeah. Like, how crazy would that be? We'd have to mic it, you know? Like, if you, like, and the team was like, JoJo, you're brilliant. Like, you know, I'm like, what are people, like, who was on your team? Like, also, I really do agree with you. Like, it must have been just like a bunch of cats.
Yeah. It's wild. It's really wild to watch them fumbling this so hard. So hard. And it's so avoidable. Should be so possible.
There's
to
so
not
much
do
gay
this.
history. And also there's so much gay history and there's so much gay current pop. I can't even.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
but yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. It's gonna be fine. JoJo, listen, hit us up if you need some help. We're here for you, girl. We got you. We can turn this around, okay? We can turn this whole whole thing around.
She can't.
I know. It's hard at this point, but I think my general take is like I always want to be rooting for the gays, man. Like I want to be rooting for you. It's a struggle right now.
She's making it so hard.
She's making it so hard. So for anyone who had not been aware of this drama, I hope this was illuminating. If you had been aware of this drama, like please send us your thoughts on this whole situation, because like we're so we're so deep in it now. We're so deep we can't get out. So yeah. That's our take. That's our take on
Karma's a bitch. I should have known better. All right, ready for our Q and gay?
I'm ready.
Q and gay.
Question number 1, Leigh. Who's your favorite gay pop artist? A. Haley Kiyoko, B. Fletcher, C. Chapel Roan, or D. Muna?
I mean, God, listen. They're all so good, and there are so many more we could have put on this list. I think like we're in a big Chapel Roan phase in my house right now. Like the girls have been super into Pink Pony Club for a long time. We are like, Good Luck Babe is like such a fucking bop right now. So we're having a time of it. I'm gonna say right now. Like I also I love them all, but like I'm sticking with C, Chapel Roan, for the time being.
Chapel's definitely having a moment right now.
Having a moment, man.
Super
Good for
happy
her.
about it.
Yeah.
We just added Red Mine Supernova to our Femme set, and we've played it twice so far. And each time, like, people flipped out. Like, they have, like, never flipped out for any song we've ever played. Like, they're so excited about it. It's great.
It's a bop. It's a bop.
Yeah. Mine is D. Muna, just need to say, because I love Muna.
Just to get that out there.
Well, and also, one more thing about Muna. They do all their own production, which, like, has my heart.
Hot stuff. Okay, question 2, Ellie. Who made the best pivot out of being a child star?
Sorry, I couldn't understand that question.
Pivot, David. Who made the best pivot out of being a child star? A. Britney Spears. B. Miley Cyrus. C. Dove Cameron. Or D. Evan Rachel Wood.
Okay, I have to say B. Miley Cyrus. But you know what's sort of crazy about it? I could also do another whole episode about Miley Cyrus. Because if you asked anyone during the time at which she shifted, people were flipping the fuck out. Like, nobody was like, yeah, she did it great when she did it. But, like, years later.
It's, the after.
The afters of it, people are like, wait, that was actually brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like Miley's a very hindsight. You're like, wait, that actually slapped.
Stay tuned, season 8, for our Miley Cyrus episode.
Yeah. And to be fair, people still liked the music she put out, even though they were controversially talking about it. Like, the songs were still hitting on the radio.
Mm-hmm. They still hit now, some of them. Like,
it's Miley for me. Wrecking Ball is just, like, a masterpiece. Yeah. All right. Question number 3. Do you ever look up the songwriting credits on your favorite songs? A, yes, B, no, or C, I haven't, but I will now.
I mean, you know I do,
Obviously.
Ellie. You know
Obviously.
I do. I'm always curious. It's just, sometimes it's interesting to look up, you know?
I know, Leigh, and you're going to be on there. Well, actually, you are already on Spotify with writing credits, but...
Someday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, we're gonna get you out there, and we're gonna plaster my name in that little part of Spotify that no one ever looks at.
And they'll be like, who's your favorite gay pop artist, Muna or Ellie Brigida?
There you go. Get ready, world. Here we come. Get your Gene Simmons outfit ready. Okay.
Oh my God.
Question 4, Ellie. What has been the worst part of this whole PR disaster? A, the dancing. B, the Gene Simmons outfit. C, claiming that you've invented gay pop. Or D, the walk back.
It has to be C for me. That shit has kept me up at night.
It's just a wild thing to say. It's a wild thing to say.
It's so crazy to say. Like, you have the amount of inflated ego you must have to think you invented gay pop.
Well, and to think you invented gay pop with a song that was written 12 years ago for a straight person is
not right. It's not right.
Just silly.
Like, you better have written Let's Have a Kiki at that point. Jesus Christ. All right. You know what? if we look back on this and we're like, JoJo did it right, I will flip the fuck out.
Yeah, someday, who knows?
Question number 5. What's your take on how the karma campaign is playing out? A, it's managed by puppies, or B, brilliant psyop.
I am convinced this is managed by a team of, like, just derpy little dogs, you know? Like, this is managed by a team of dogs whose, like, tongue is always hanging out of their mouth.
Yep. Oh, man.
I can't see it as a psyop, Ellie. I'm trying, I can't.
It's like I don't even know if I see it as a psyop, but I just know it is backfiring and it's also not backfiring at the same time. Every person in the world is talking about her, so all
the numbers are there, but
all PR is good PR.
It's not. It's not. It's not true.
It's not. Oh, God. But remember, listeners, you can give us your own answers to this episode's Q&A questions on our Twitter at Lez Hang Out Pod.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We love hearing from all of you. We love continuing to build this community. So we just want to shout out some of our favorite things every episode. And we want to start with Les Ships Ahoy, who just sent us, this is such a silly little thing to shout out, but they sent us this cute little bird meme on Instagram that was like, "You're wonderful." And anyways, it was just cute and it made us smile, and you're wonderful too. And that's all. Send us stupid, cute things. It just makes our day. We also want to shout out Lisa, who did uncover the depths of the just straight anger about our posts on V for Vendetta on our Facebook, and just left a little comment saying, "Why are men allowed on this page?" And you know what, Lisa? You're correct. Why are men allowed on that page? Great question. Wish we could tell you, but, you know, it's nice that other people are out there asking the real questions. So, shout out to you.
As always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Sophia Phillips,
and Armani Gucci.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen.
And Andrea Doucette, thank you so much. We could not continue to do the podcast without you.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Lez Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at lezhangoutpod@gmail.com.
And you can check out our website at lezhangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use for podcasts, make sure you subscribe so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop.
We also have videos going up on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/lezhangoutpod to catch those.
Lez Hang Out is an independently produced show hosted by us with audio production by me. Our production assistant is Kristen Murison, and Twitter shenanigans and various other odd jobs by Leigh Holmes Foster.
If you want to help support the podcast, the first thing you can do is free, it's easy, leave us a rating or a review anywhere you listen to podcasts. It helps new people find the show.
If you want to help support us in continuing to make this show, you can do that at bit.ly/LezPatreon. You get access to all 20 of our Patreon bonus episodes. That is a huge back catalog. So if you're like, I need more Lez Hang Out, I can't listen to it fast enough, join us on Patreon and you get all kinds of bonus content and access to our Patreon-only Discord chat. You can do that at bit.ly/LezPatreon.
If you want to buy some merch, you can get all of our designs at our TeePublic. You can get them on all sorts of t-shirts and tank tops and tote bags. And you can gear up for Pride now. You can find it at bit.ly/LezShop.
And remember, we have a queer production company making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings that you can find everywhere at $beanprod.
You can also check out our website at dollarbeanproductions.com.
You can listen to all the episodes of our first show, The Flame, on any podcasting app.
And you can listen to all of the episodes of Journey to the Heart, the first iteration through that story, available anywhere you listen to podcasts now. And we will have the other choices all flipped coming out for Pride Month, so stay tuned.
And if you want to help support us in making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/dollarbeanpatreon.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Leigh. And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.